He is who many see as the quintessential Superman, who has some of the best and worst films in the franchise. Hi, my name's Zach, and today we are ranking all 4 Christopher Reeve Superman movies. Before we get started, I want this to be a conversation between you and me, so make sure that you put your ranking of all 4 Christopher Reeve films down in the comment section below. Also, I've got individual reviews for all 4 of these films. You can check it out in that playlist right over there. And with all that out of the way, let's kick this off. In last place, at number 4. And in last place, I gotta go with Superman 3. And to me, this is just one of the most misguided and miscalculated movies that ever got added to a franchise, where they took the more earnest, sincere tone of Richard Donner's Superman 1 and Superman 2 films and turned it into a farce slapstick comedy, where Richard Pryor is sharing the screen with Superman. They only put him in this film because on a late night talk show, he loved the look of Superman 2. He was really excited about it.
Oh, did you see Superman 1?
Sure.
Well, this one, remember the people was in the glass?
Yeah.
Well, he goes and gets them.
Yeah.
And brings them back to Earth accidentally. And there's 4 Supermans.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and 1 Superwoman. Oh, it's going to be good. The previews are great. We sitting in there, yeah, it's Soup!
He was a big comedian star at the time, so the producers asked if he wanted to be in this film. They wrote him apart. They shoehorned him into this film. While shoehorning him in, they kicked out Gene Hackman. They kicked out Margot Kidder. So a lot of the core elements of Superman's world that I enjoy about Superman 1 and Superman 2 are completely absent, and they're replaced by Richard Pryor's bits and gags that simply just do not work in this film. On top of that, they give Clark, Superman, a new romance in Annette O'Toole's Lana Lane, who has a brief tie back to the first film. And after coming off of Superman 2, where we've learned that Clark can't be with Lois unless he gives up his powers, we already saw how that went down, how he can't give up his powers to be with a mortal. So Superman 2 kind of told us Superman cannot be with a mortal at all. Having a new romance in Superman 3 just feels completely disconnected from me, because I already know Superman can't ultimately be with this person. And Christopher Reeve and Annette O'Toole do not have the chemistry that Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder had. Superman 3 is a tremendous downgrade for this franchise, although it still has a good performance from Christopher Reeve, and the junkyard fight between him and his metaphorical, figurative Clark Kent is kind of cool, is kind of fun. There's not much else to enjoy about Superman 3, unfortunately for me. Coming in at number 3, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. And I feel like I have to preference this one by saying that this is in no way a giant leap from 4 to 3. If anything, this is on even ground with 4 and 3. If I could have them both in last place, I would probably choose to do that. The only thing that puts Superman 4 above Superman 3 is that it's an hour and a half, so it's 30 minutes shorter than Superman 3. It's got the return of the entire cast, with Margot Kidder and Gene Hackman making their return. And in some ways, it's more so bad it's good to me than Superman 3, where they didn't have the money to pull off the scope and size of Superman cleansing the world of nuclear weapons that they wanted to have. Nuclear Man comes in here, and he's a complete goof of a villain for Superman, where all you have to do is take away the sunlight, and he just turns off. Easiest villain Superman should be able to defeat. But there's so much production problems with Superman 4, where because they didn't have the money, the green screen looks terrible. All of the flight scenes with Superman look horrendous. There are so many logical errors made with the story, where at one point Nuclear Man takes a full-grown woman up into space with no suit, no need for air, I guess. She can just breathe in space with the black space curtains falling behind her. Gene Hackman's back as Lex, but he's basically given nothing to do. He's still able to have some fun with the material, with the character, kind of break through it a little bit more. It's nice to see him back, but unfortunately it just ends up being a big nothing burger, and that's kind of what ends up with Superman 4 in a nutshell. It just ended up doing nothing for the franchise except killing it off for a very, very long time. And it's unfortunate that this was the very last film Christopher Reeve did as Superman. It's unfortunate that this is the one that he has story credit on. Maybe his original vision would have panned out. Maybe it would have been great. But as the film turned out, and with all of the production issues that went with it, man, it's rough. And that's going to bring us to our runner-up, which is Superman 2. And for context, there is a big leap from number 3 to number 2 in this case, because Superman 2 takes a lot of what was great about Superman 1 and is just able to dive deeper into it, where you get more of Clark and Lois's relationship. Margot Kidder as Lois has more to do within the plot, as she's trying to basically get Clark to confess that he is Superman, as she has figured it out. Throughout the film, she throws in the baits to get him to mess up, to confess. They're fun little bits that Margot Kidder gets to play with, and it really enhances the chemistry between Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder. On top of that, you've got fantastic Superman sequences in here, where in the Lester cut anyways, you've got the Paris bomb to start off the film, where Superman's going and thwarting the terrorists. So the action kicks off right away, and while you have a great Superman story going on with him and Lois, and having to give up his powers to be with Lois, as short-lived as it may be, it's still a really fascinating arc for this character to go through. Likewise, you give him some of the best villains that the franchise has ever had, with Zod and, of course, Non and Ursa coming out of the Phantom Zone, coming to Earth, causing chaos, causing ruckus. Superman has to swoop in there and save Metropolis from General Zod's grasp. It's such a compelling conflict that is also building off of the foundation that Superman the movie set up for this film. Superman the movie and Superman 2, they work very well together as a pair. I do feel like in some ways they should be put together as like a Zack Snyder Justice League cut and be put at number 1 themselves. But as the list goes, as they were individual films, you got to pick a number 2, you got to pick a number 1. And for me, while Superman 2 has some really great moments, it also has a couple moments that pull me out of the film. I think that Superman 2 has the worst offense of Superman's made-up abilities, where he can take off an S from his suit and throw it at one of the villains. He can kiss people and make them forget. There's a lot of just little details that are added into this film that sometimes have me scratching my head. So, very strong entry. I really enjoy this film. But for those reasons, it's got to come in at number 2. Which means coming in at number 1 is Superman the movie. And this is the granddaddy of the superhero films back in 1978 when it was released. And honestly, I think it holds up pretty well still today, where it is this sprawling epic that takes place over many years to tell the full story of Superman's life, where we get to start off on Krypton. We see Marlon Brando. We see the destruction of Krypton as Superman sent away. We get a glimpse into his upbringing, how Pa Kent instilled all of these morals into him as he was growing up, that when you get to the full-grown Superman living in Metropolis, meeting Lois Lane, you get a full grasp and understanding of who this character is, while also feeling like you have gone on this epic life journey with him. Gene Hackman in here as Lex Luthor is such a fun villain for this film, where he just is a dynamite of a character. The pair up with Otis, played by Ned Beatty, and Miss Tessmacher, and the way that all those characters interact with each other create a really fun dynamic for our villains to have whilst Superman is out saving people and doing good deeds around Metropolis, which this is our introduction to Christopher Reeve as Superman. And in this film, I feel like this is my favorite Christopher Reeve has been as Superman, where he just has that warmth to him. He has that bright energy that when he is saving a cat from a tree and giving it back to a little girl, you just feel the comfort and safety that this man provides. And Christopher Reeve feels like he was built to be Superman for this film. He's got the charm, he's got the likability, and you pair him up with Margot Kidder in here as Lois. They've got the chemistry. The sequence of Lois interviewing Superman where they got this flirtatious energy going on is one of the most romantic scenes ever put into a superhero film. Yeah, the ending where he turns the world back around feels like it's inconsequential and feels like it has a little bit of plot holes, but there's also a lot of behind the scenes stuff that went on that caused for that to be the ending of this film. I think for the most part, the tagline of this film, "You will believe a man can fly," still holds up. The flight rigging technology that they use, the projection screens, the blue screens, it all still looks pretty believable. And a lot of that is once again credited to Christopher Reeve, who was able to accomplish so much with the wire work as he did hang gliding for just a hobby. So he was able to angle his body in ways that made it look like he was actually flying. Christopher Reeve is a big part as to why Superman the movie worked, but also Richard Donner, the whole cast and crew, they brought this world to life. They told this epic story that encapsulated the story and character of Superman into a single film. For that reason, for Christopher Reeve, I think it's his quintessential film as Superman, and it comes in at number 1. If you like this, don't forget to check out the full reviews for all these films in that playlist right over there. Give me your ranking of the Christopher Reeve Superman films down below in the comments section. Check out some more content all around the screen here. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't just watch movies, talk movies. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.